Welcome to the College Football Bros, the podcast with three Mr. Irrelevants. And now, here are your hosts, Michael, Ryan, and Trey Newman.
Welcome to the College Football Bros podcast. I am Michael Newman, and I'm joined by the brother with a face for podcasting.
Oh yeah, that's me, Ryan Newman. Hey, wait a minute.
And by the other brother, who is looking absolutely gorgeous right now.
Thank you. That would be me, Trey Newman.
All right, on today's episode, with the NFL draft, of course, happening this weekend, we are going to put a college football spin on drafting. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but first, we have a bunch of five-star reviews to get to. We've had a ton come in the past couple weeks, so Trey, why don't you get us started there?
Yeah, all right. We got one from B_good7. Best college football podcast ever. This podcast has more to offer than the other talking heads out there. The bros obviously know their college football, just listen to their trivia shows, and even have a surprising knowledge of G5 and FCS schools. They're supportive of their favorite teams, but still deliver unbiased coverage. The humor and brotherly banter makes this podcast fun, but still delivers insightful college football coverage. Kudos to Ryan for his Baylor prediction.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You wouldn't see that on ESPN is what he's saying. And then, Trey, you have my support. I know what it's like being the oldest sibling. I'll take it. And then, Michael, Sarah is the best thing about you. Love you guys and Boomer Sooner.
I mean, I'll take that, but I would have liked a compliment for just me, but that's okay. It's true. So
yeah,
I agree with it.
All right, that was a good one. We have one from Go Beavers 1234. The bros are super entertaining. I have been bored with the quarantine, so I started listening to your podcast from episode 1 to now. Wow, if you really
that's a commitment,
man. Yeah, let's see. And the amount of hate the bros have given the Oregon State Beavers has been tough. Well, it is tough. But bold prediction he has. Jonathan Smith is bringing a national title within 5 years. Keep up the good work, bros. Go Beavs.
Hey, we like Jonathan Smith, but maybe
no, I know we're all
big
fans of Jonathan Smith, but that's about.
And we were all wrong about. I'm sure in the preseason last year we were saying Oregon State was going to have a super rough year again, but they were 5-7. They were this close to going bowling. Yeah. So apologies to Oregon State, but yeah, we're on the bandwagon now. Maybe not national title
bowl game.
Yeah, maybe not national title bandwagon, but hey, he's dreaming, which is cool.
Yep.
Or she.
Yep.
Oh, my turn. Okay. Cream of the Crop 808 has a review that says, great college podcast, very entertaining, and their trivia episodes are awesome to play along to. So thank you very much.
All right, we got another one from Patty Mac 811. Great for college football junkies, he titled it. It's three guys like you. They love college football. They know a lot about college football, and they love to talk about college football. Great content, fun games, and a great listen. Appreciate that, Patty Mac.
And our last one is from Ethan Duncan. Says, great podcast with entertaining segments and give plenty of love to all the teams, even the G5. Hope that they pick the Gophers to win the West this year over the Skunks. Skyuma.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's
West
going to
is
be
still again wide open.
Yeah, it is. I would say, yeah, Minnesota and Wisconsin, it's probably going to come down to those two as far as my prediction, but
yeah,
too early to say. Anyway, yeah, thanks for all those reviews. And just to let the listeners know, we are going to continue posting our show on YouTube. So if you'd rather watch us, you can do so. And just go on YouTube and search College Football Bros. A couple things show up. One of them is a bunch of, or there are a couple like 8-year-olds that are doing a podcast, which is pretty cool.
I saw that.
But that's not us. So the ones that look, I was going to say middle-aged. Not quite yet, but we're getting there, guys.
Ooh, handsome young lads.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, and if you look at my background here,
I've got this like foam board here for the audio, but really it's kind of like it's almost a Kentucky end zone. I just need the white to make the blue and white.
Oh, that's
If I was a
true.
Tennessee fan, maybe I would have done orange and white checkerboard.
If this, we're gonna, for the time being, we're gonna do this this YouTube thing. If that continues for a long time, we should get some nice backgrounds for ourselves.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, instead of my closet.
Ryan in his closet. I mean,
Low
there's some
budget.
charm there. Anyway, let's get into these drafts. So we did an episode like this last year, and so we're gonna do a lot of the same categories. And what's cool is we've listened to last year's episode, and we're gonna say who won last year's draft. So let's get into it. The first draft is next team to make their first ever playoff appearance. So Ryan, what happened in 2019 there?
All right, so we gave 9 picks. We did 3 each. I started us off with Texas, then Michael, you followed it up with Michigan,
Ooh.
Trey, Florida, and then Trey's second pick of the first pick of the second round, he got LSU.
Very
So,
good.
there
Very
we go.
good.
That was the winner there, and then
All right.
we followed it up with Texas A&M for Michael. Then I had USC and Nebraska back to back.
Oof, Nebraska's taken the farthest fall. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard tumble for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I am not going to pick Nebraska in this draft.
Yep. No, I left them off the list this year.
Yeah.
And then Penn State and Auburn were the last 2 by you guys. So Trey got it. Trey won that one.
Okay. Good work. Trey, you have the first pick here. We're going to go Trey, Michael, Ryan, and we'll snake back and forth a couple times.
All right. Well, I'll kind of start where I started last year. Then I'm gonna stick with the Gators.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen, Florida. They've now won back-to-back New Year's Six games in his first 2 years. Clearly they're heading in the right direction. The SEC East, as we know, has primarily been coming down to Florida and Georgia. So if they can kind of get over the hump, they're getting closer and closer to Georgia. It looks like maybe this year they can get over the top, and if they do, this could be the year they get into the playoff.
Yep, they would have been. If I was the first pick, I would have also taken Florida.
Yep.
I am the second pick. This is tough. There are honestly, I mean, going down my list here, there's like 3 or 4 teams I could have easily taken. I'm going to go with Texas. And I was tempted by, Penn State, A&M, a couple other schools, but most of the schools I was debating with are in loaded divisions. So that was kind of the reason I went with Texas. It's really just Oklahoma in the Big 12 that they have to deal with. And for the most part, they've played Oklahoma really well. So it's not crazy to think that they could beat them. And even this year, you always have to think, is there at least a puncher's chance this year when you're making this draft pick? And with everything Texas has coming back on defense, getting everybody healthy, Sam Ehlinger back, I mean, they're big underdogs, but it could happen.
Yeah.
The only thing with that is I love their offense, and I know they have returning presence with the defense, but the defense is still going to have to make a big improvement.
It will, but I think they will. I just think there were so many injuries last year that
Yep.
The
I like their
secondary
chances.
was just the walking wounded. It
Yeah.
was horrible. I mean, it was crazy how many guys missed time. Okay, that leaves me 2 picks in a row here. Okay, I'm gonna pick one that I feel like has a chance to do it more right now, and then another one that's probably more future. So I'll go with the one that I think has a chance to do it any given year, and I'll say that's Auburn. You did mention that was kind of the reason why you stay away from team, just because of the loaded division. But I mean, we all thought the exact same thing about LSU last year, and
True.
They shoot up the board here and they make the playoff. You got Bo Nix coming back. They have some good receivers. Seth Williams coming back. So I know they lose some up front on the defensive line, but Auburn has they've recruited well. You never know. I mean, Gus Malzahn's kind of proven this. Just any given year, you're not sure what's going to happen. So I think Auburn they have the talent and they have the potential to sneak through there one year.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it before.
Always good.
Yeah, defense is always good. And he's done it before as far as he made a BCS championship game. Of course, that doesn't count as a playoff here. And just a few years ago, what was it, 2017, they were in the SEC championship against Georgia. Had they won, they would have been in. So
Yeah,
he's proven
they've
it.
been knocking at the door. And I think Bo Nix is going to take a jump. So,
Okay.
He
better.
My other, what?
I said he better.
Yeah, well, he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I know, but wasn't great.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Fair
an
enough.
argument for another day.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that argument actually later in this pod. And my other one, I'm going to go with USC. Yeah, I mean, and they're not. I mean, it's who's in their non-conference this year? The slate.
Well, you always got Notre Dame.
They got Alabama.
Alabama.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Game 1, Alabama.
Crap.
Yeah, it's not happening this year. It's not. I mean, it's very unlikely. I'll say that.
Not happening this year. I thought maybe if Alabama wasn't on the schedule, it's
Although
conceivable.
there might be a chance of
They could win the Pac-12.
non-conference games. There's still a lot in play here.
Yeah.
Yeah, USC could win the Pac-12. It's possible.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So, but just the reason why I picked USC is just because of the potential. We know how great they can recruit, and the top 5 classes that they were bringing in consistently for over a decade it just makes you a top team. So, I don't expect Clay Helton to be able to do it, but I think if you get a decent coach in there, they're right there always.
Yeah, and obviously the last couple years, really, the recruiting has slid.
I will say though, the recruiting 2021 is off to a pretty good start.
Exactly. I think the coaching staff, they finally invested in the coaching staff around Clay Helton, and so you're seeing that with recruiting starting off really well. And I just think, I think there's a lot more optimism around USC now than there was even just a few months ago.
It's crazy what those assistants are doing. I mean, Clay is just kind of, I don't know, he's getting lucky just by riding off of. First, he was given such a great team by inheriting it, and then now it's just those assistants are starting to kick in with the recruiting. So
Yeah.
we'll see if he can save his job. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So it's my turn then. Okay, back to me. So let's see here. Well, that leaves me with, I'm going to take Penn State.
Yeah.
So they are recruiting consistent top 10, top 15 classes. They've finished in the top 10 in the AP 3 of the last 4 years. So if James Franklin's there, they're going to be in the hunt. So one of these years, you got to think they'll get lucky enough to break through. Obviously, you got to deal with the loaded division and Ohio State,
But they've proven they can beat the Buckeyes.
yeah,
You know what? I didn't realize you said 3 of the last 4 years in the top 10. They've won 11 games in 3 of those 4 years. That's amazing.
it is.
I was also their schedule. It's for being in the East. It's not terrible, and the last half of the last 5 games are really easy. So if they start hot, they have a chance.
Yeah, they rarely play a really hard non-conference too. Yeah, they usually it's like Pitt is kind of the best team
Yeah.
or something they've been playing lately. They don't have those marquee, which is kind of bad. You wish Penn State would, when was the last time Penn State had a marquee non-conference game?
Why do you ask these tough questions off the cuff, Ryan?
Yeah,
I don't
Maybe I'll
remember.
Look it up. Well, whose turn is it?
Well,
Trey, over to you.
I'm looking up
Trey.
their non-conference game this year. I don't know. Look up their non-conference game this year, Ryan.
I'll try to
I remember
look here.
looking at it. All right, so you took Penn State, Michael, and
Yep.
let's see. Do I have back-to-back? Yeah, I have back-to-back
You do.
here. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go one with Wisconsin.
Okay.
We know they're always relevant in the West of the Big Ten, of course, and if they break through in the Big Ten title, it's going to come down to that one game. They could get there. I mean, remember just this last year in the Big Ten title, the first half they were controlling the Buckeyes, and we were kind of all sitting there like, even though they had a couple losses, we're like, if this continues, like, do they sneak in the playoff? I mean,
I forgot about that.
It was crazy. So I think there's potential it could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen here this year, but with them being relevant in the West, they have a shot.
Okay.
And then that's Wisconsin, and then
At Virginia Tech this year for
Yeah,
Penn
it's
State. So
decent.
there you go.
Oh, that's definitely a tough one.
But I'm trying to
There
go
we go.
back
That
and see
was what I was-
before what was there because they had Pitt for a few years and that was it. And
I'm
the
gonna
last 4 years.
give Michael his team that I think he's gonna go with.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna take. It's not gonna happen this year,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say North Carolina.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa.
it's not
I was
happening
gonna
this
take
year.
them.
Believe me. But Mac Brown is killing it in the 2021 recruiting.
Yeah,
Like they have, I mean, it's super early, but they're number 2 class right now. You know, this year with Sam Howell, he'll show improvement. They're not going to make the playoff this year, but it'll have a couple years of recruiting. With Sam Howell, he'll be back next year. So it's not that crazy, especially with the ACC. Pretty much just them and Clemson. I mean, Clemson's a huge hurdle still to climb, but they have a chance in the coming years.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Howell is amazing, so you never know. All right, back to me. I am gonna take Texas A&M.
That was who I thought you'd say.
Yeah. You got so over the next 5 years, I think they're gonna be better than a lot of the teams we've drafted. I think it's fair that they fell to around here because, of course, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, now even Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss and Mike Leach at Mississippi State. The division is just murderer's row. But even with that, they've got, I think, a top 10 coach, maybe top 5 coach in Jimbo Fisher. They're bringing in top 5-ish classes. The talent, it might be there next year. Like it wouldn't be the craziest thing if A&M snuck in next year, but certainly looking to 2021, 2022, they're going to be, I think, one of the top 5 or 10 teams.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
And Ryan's boy Kellen Mond is back for his 8th year this year. It seems like.
Yeah, final year for him. Yeah, I was going to take North Carolina too, actually, Trey. That was
wow.
That was a good one. Yeah.
No way.
But I got to go somewhere else. I'll take Michigan. They've always been good. I know they get their butt whipped by Ohio State, but if they can just avoid that, or if that's their only loss, they can still sneak in somehow or whatever. Somehow they beat the Buckeyes, but they're always right there. Jim Harbaugh's got a good team, and I mean, you never know when they're gonna pop up, but they've always been good, so they have a chance.
Okay.
By the way, it was 2011 was the last marquee matchup for Penn State in the non-conference when they played Bama. Other than that, it was like Pitt for 4 years, Syracuse, Virginia. So good to see them playing a better team though in Virginia Tech.
Okay, so that's it, right? That's all we're doing. We got three teams each. Who was the first team? Do you have a team that didn't get listed that was on your list? For me, it was Florida State, just because
Florida State's been in the playoff.
Oh. All right. Perhaps I should have just said, let's move on. Wow. That was a real brain fart by me.
That's a tough
no, how about Alabama, though, guys? No one said Alabama.
Yeah, you're right. No one said Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Well, was there anybody else that you guys had? Hey, how about Oregon, guys? Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. No, the only other like kind of long shot I had, that I put one G5 squad, and that was UCF, because they have some cachet built up, and even like this year they have a decent schedule. So if all the chips fell their way, and they went undefeated impressively, they could. I'm not saying it'll happen, but I threw it in one G5.
Okay. I also had, I'm afraid to say any more names now, but Tennessee on my list, Minnesota, but we're starting to get slim pickings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to our next draft. The head coach to be fired first. And Trey, we need you to break down last year.
All right. So, Michael, you had a little bit of bad luck, if you look at it this way, is that you selected Clay Helton to be fired. Arguably should have. And Brent Brennan of San Jose State. Neither of those guys, of course, ended up getting fired. You also said, in kind of off the cuff afterwards, you said Tony Sanchez of UNLV. He did end up going, so there you go. You should have put him in your top 2.
Okay. So off the cuff after the draft I'm like 1 for 2 right now. I said Tony Sanchez.
Sure,
I also
whatever.
said Florida State. So.
Well, no, speaking of, Ryan said Lovie Smith, who he had a couple big / lucky wins this year that really saved him.
Yep.
And Randy Edsall of UConn.
How did he
he's not
get
really
canned?
validating him being there still, but he's still there. But then Ryan, you said off the cuff, Willie Taggart.
I did,
Impressive.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. You guys off the cuff are good. But then it comes to me once again, and I nailed it. I said Chris Ash of Rutgers.
Yeah.
See ya. I said Bob Davie, New Mexico.
Those,
See ya.
yeah.
And then I asked you guys about Matt Luke of Ole Miss. So I kind of hit a home run there.
You
3-run
did.
homer.
You did. To be fair, the question was head coach to be fired first. So, and I think
Oh,
that
well, I honestly don't know who was fired first.
well, it was probably Taggart, right? I would think. I don't remember. but
Oh,
he
you're
was
probably right, 'cause he
Fired
was-
pretty early.
During the season, right?
Yeah. So, but none of us.
Fair. Fine.
No, it's fine. Hey, as long as they're fired,
Yep.
you're a winner.
I looked at that. I took it in terms of being fired. Okay. Now on to 2020. Ryan, why don't you get us started?
Randy Edsall.
Yeah.
My goodness, if he doesn't get canned after this year, then UConn just doesn't care about football. He's 6-30 in his time there, so just I mean, it has been a complete debacle the second time around there.
Hey, at least the
So,
defense has been really good.
setting records, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Edsall is choice number one.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Clay Helton, SC. I mean, there is like you said, Michael. There's a little bit of optimism there, but it's still a little surprising. He's there. He's walking on very thin ice, of course. So he's gonna need things to go obviously right for him to stick around. And we know that this past year's recruiting took a nosedive. Hopefully he can redeem himself in 2021. But just on field, the last couple of years been very up and down, and it's been rough.
Yeah, he would have been my top pick as well. Because the other thing is with that game one being against Alabama, that could just get you off on just the totally wrong foot, and fans turn against him even more than they already have. Okay, I'm the third pick here. I'm gonna go with Kevin Sumlin at Arizona. He took over a team with Khalil Tate. I think everyone thought the team had a ton of potential, and they've gone 5-7 and 4-8. The recruiting has not been good. You thought he was going to recruit really well there. I think the only thing he has going for him is the potential of Grant Gunnell at quarterback, but other than that, it's all looking bad.
I loved the hire. In fact,
Yeah.
I've got an Arizona
Oh, Trey is wearing an Arizona shirt right now.
old school Arizona shirt. I'm Ryan, you inspired me last week. You wore the Wazoo shirt. I'm gonna try and go. I've got a few college shirts that I'm gonna try and go through as we record these.
I like it. There's a reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Who would have thought Herm Edwards would be by far out recruiting Kevin Sumlin?
Yeah. Did not see that right now.
No. Okay, I have another pick, I guess. We're doing Snake. I'm going to go Dana Dimel at UTEP. Maybe they'll just, on principle, give him 4 years because he took over a program that was in such terrible shape. But he's gone 1-11, 2 straight years. Year 3 here, he's got to show some improvement. And I'm not sure if he will because SP Plus has them projected at 130th in the country out of 130 teams. So, yeah, not great. Not great.
Yeah. They'll probably have quite a few FCS teams that are better than them.
Oh, for sure.
Ouch. I'm gonna go Derek Mason of Vanderbilt. It was a little surprising that he stuck around again this year. I totally understand. It's not easy to win at Vandy, of course, but he's now 27-47. They were 3-9 last year and showed very little. If they have a similar 3-9, 4-8 or worse season this year, there doesn't seem to be a reason to keep him around.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah, that's a good one. All right, last pick here. I'm torn between two guys. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Will Muschamp, South Carolina. He went 4-8 last year. It just has not been able to break through. Seems like it's been getting a little bit worse every year. And then take a peek at their schedule, and it's just brutal. A lot of forecasts have them as the toughest schedule in the country coming up this year, so it's not going to be easy. And I don't think Helinski is really the answer. So yeah, I'm going to take Muschamp, but I was thinking Tom Herman. That was kind of my
Yeah.
my debate, just because year 4, he's like, what, 25?
But I mean,
or
it's
15
more
or something?
likely that Herman's going to have a better year than Muschamp. So I
Yeah.
agree with that Muschamp pick right now.
Me too.
But if Muschamp gets to like 6-6, he's okay, I would think.
Easier said
Herman-
than done.
Yeah, I know it'd be not easy. Herman, if he goes 6-6, he's got to be gone.
True that.
So, and it's like Michael said before, they have a ton of returning production. Sam Ehlinger, a senior. This is a big year for Herman.
Okay. Well, that's all we're doing for this draft. Any names you want to throw out there that you thought should have been brought up? Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State, maybe?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just going to make it a routine to throw out things that don't make sense. No, next on my list would have been Philip Montgomery at Tulsa.
Yeah.
It looked really good at the beginning of his tenure, but not so much lately.
There
Chip
wasn't like
Ke-
a whole lot, like it seems like a lot of coaches are still relatively new to their respective programs.
Yeah.
It seems like when I looked around,
Yeah, that's true.
like the Big 12 had a lot of new coaches still. Big 10, yeah. So, like Frost ain't going anywhere, even though it's getting questionable.
Yeah. I don't think Chip Kelly will be fired. Who knows? He
Yeah.
could leave, but
Chip Kelly, yep, I don't think he'll get fired unless it's like a complete debacle.
Manny Diaz, he could have a Willie Taggart situation there. Anyway,
Yep.
okay. Let's move on to the next
David
draft.
Shaw, David Shaw, if he has another bad year.
I mean,
They
maybe,
love
I
him
guess.
up there.
But
I
yeah,
know they do.
he's got a lot of he's built up a lot of equity.
Yeah.
Okay. True freshman quarterback to make the most starts. So last year, and we each made 2 picks and we combined the amount of starts. So Trey, you had the first overall pick, very good pick, Sam Howell from North Carolina. He started all 13 games. You also took Max Duggan with your final pick, another great one. Alex Delton actually started the first 2, but then Duggan started the final 10. So
All right.
you finished with 23 starts. And then Ryan, you picked Bo Nix. He started all 13 games. And at the time, a lot of people thought Joey Gatewood was going to be the starter. So
Yeah.
that was a good
Yeah.
pick.
I was kind of in the minority on that one.
Your next pick was Graham Mertz. And that was not as good. He did not.
Surprising that they never gave him a shot. But
Yep,
Cone
they
just
went-
did enough, I guess.
Exactly. So you had 13 starts overall. And then Michael, me, Hank Bachmeier was my first pick. He started all 8 games that he played in, but
yeah, injuries.
Yeah,
was
that was too
injured.
bad.
so only 8 there. And then Jaden Daniels for Arizona State. He started 12 of 13. He was injured in the USC game. So 20 starts for me. So Trey, you are the winner with 23. Well done.
Killing it. Yeah, you got kind of cursed there by injury, but
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to 2020. We will do 2 rounds here. It'll go Michael, Ryan, Trey. So I have the first pick. I think the lack of spring practices is clearly going to make it a lot more difficult for a true freshman to start this year.
yes.
And it also made it honestly just more difficult to research this question. So because I'm not,
exactly.
none of us are like huge recruiting guys. We follow it, of course, as much as any college football fan does. But yeah, if we forgot anybody on this list, let us know in the comments because it's very possible.
I mean, I kind of just went over the QB rankings on 24/7 composite, and just to see what
yeah,
the big names. But a lot of the big names are going to like DJ Ugalele is going to Clemson. It's like, well, you're
yeah,
not going to start. him for Trevor Lawrence.
Uyangalele, I think.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry. Well, I'm trying. But yeah. So, and there could be some G5 teams, especially that we miss here. So anyway, my first pick, I'm going with Jeff Sims at Georgia Tech.
Nice.
Yeah, because James Graham obviously had a very bad year last year. So Sims is going to be in the mix. He was a 4-star recruit, 10th ranked dual threat quarterback in the country. And with transitioning to this new offense, Jeff Collins, you would think, is going to want to move, turn the
Georgia
pages.
Tech, right?
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
Just for the listeners, I didn't hear it.
Oh, I didn't say that? Okay, anyway.
You might have.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That
was
is a
an
good
obvious
one.
choice there. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Number 2. Man, that was mine. So I will go with, man, I'll take Ben Finley for NC State.
Okay.
He's not a super highly touted guy. He was a decent level 3-star. But NC State's cute quarterbacks they were horrible last year. I mean, they weren't Georgia Tech horrible, but they were pretty horrible. Devin Leary was probably the best, but he completed under 50% of his passes. So if Ben Finley can come in and just show a little bit, I think he can take the reins there. And it doesn't hurt that his older brother was a star quarterback there before, Ryan Finley. So I think Ben has a chance to come in and take that job.
Yeah, that's a good pick. But Dave Doran has named Devin Leary the starter. That doesn't mean a ton. Obviously, you could take him over, but just to throw it out there.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the number 1 quarterback, I guess. I'm going to take Bryce Young, Alabama. Obviously, he's going to have to compete with Mac Jones. But, I mean, hey, Bryce Young, there's a lot of people are touting him up. And Young is clearly going to be the future, at least at this point. So, and Saban, I think he might learn from how he used Tua his freshman year. He might potentially bring him in earlier in the season and work him in more. Maybe he'll end up being the starter.
Yep.
So I got Young of Alabama.
Okay, so you gotta go back to back, Trey. What's your next pick?
Oh, yeah, back to back. All right, now we're getting tough here for me, in my opinion. I'm gonna take. I got a couple guys here. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna say it's Chubba Purdy.
I would assume it's Chuba, if that's how Chuba Hubbard pronounces
exactly.
it. But
It's actually Brock's brother. He's going to Florida State. I know they have James Blackman, but he's been inconsistent, and now they've got a new coaching staff, obviously, with Norvell coming in from Memphis. Maybe he'll want one of his recruits in there. He's a 4-star dual threat, so maybe he'll sneak in there. I don't know.
yeah, it's definitely possible people are hyping him up. I like James Blackman, but
Yeah,
I do
we'll
too.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, back. Oh no.
No, back to me.
Oh, back
Thanks,
to you.
Mike.
Sorry.
Yeah, you went first here, so then you go
Yeah.
last. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't have him on my list, so that's good. No, I got 3 guys here. Oh man, they're all actually in the Pacific Northwest. I didn't realize that till now. Okay, I'm gonna go with.
You can tell us who you're debating
Okay,
between.
so I got Jay Butterfield at Oregon, Jaden Delora at Washington State, and then Ethan Garbers for UW.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna end up going with Garbers.
Yeah.
he's a big time
That's a good
recruit
pick.
over there. He was from Corona Del Mar, in Orange County, and he's obviously coming into a situation there's void of experience. Jacob Eason went off to the NFL. Then Colson Yankoff transferred to UCLA. Jake Hayner transferred to Fresno State. So a couple guys there right now, Dylan Morris and Jacob Sermon. But Garbers, I think, has the better prospect of that trio. So I think he can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying Sermon might be, well, if they would have had a spring, he would have been the number 1 guy. But like you said, they have no experience. I think he only had like 3 passes in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So have we named 3 straight brothers? So we've got Ethan Garbers, the brother of Chase Garbers, right? We've got Ben Finley, brother of Ryan Finley, and Chubba Purdy, brother of Brock Purdy.
Wow.
Okay, let's see. With the final pick here. Ooh.
Trey, who was your first pick?
I said Bryce Young, Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess it wasn't 3 straight, but we have named 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, now I have a decision here. Maybe you guys could help me. What do you think about Deuce Hogan at Iowa? I know Spencer Petras is, I think, supposed to be the starter. He backed up Nathan Stanley last year, but I don't know. There's not a lot of experience there. And then I'm also debating between Harrison Bailey at Tennessee, but I kind of like Jarrett Garantano. So
if Jarrett's healthy, then I think he's good. I think he's solid.
and also it's a loaded quarterback room.
Yeah, it's not just him. There's a loaded quarterback room.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys at Tennessee. Okay, so I will go. I know Tennessee fans probably want Harrison Bailey to be the guy, but I'll go Deuce Hogan at Iowa for the reasons I just kind of said.
Yeah, Deuce is a good pick.
Okay.
I also had Brendan Lewis at Colorado, Darrell's first guy, and they don't have anyone right now to replace Montez. So
very true. Max
I was
Johnson
thinking just with the Jay Butterfield at Oregon. I mean, he's kind of
who's
like
the guy,
built...
Michael? I can't pronounce his name. They're really high on. He's a sophomore, I believe.
His name is escaping me right now at Oregon.
Tyler
It's
Shuck.
got a name I like.
Tyler Shuck. Yeah, Tyler Shuck.
Oh, Shuck.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Well, and also they just they got the transfer of again, the name is escaping me. Didn't they just get a transfer?
Boy, I don't even know.
I think they did. All right, we'll Google it as we move on.
I'm reading this great.
As Ryan, you've got an advertisement to read. So
I'm not going to read. I'm just going. I know it. It's a great deal here.
Okay, go for it.
All right, so myfrontpagestory.com is where the ad is from, and we kind of talked about it last week a little bit, and it's a cool deal. So what you do with this website is you kind of talk with a writer, like a professional writer, and they ask you questions about you if you want to send like a great Mother's Day gift or for your wife or something. You'll tell them stuff to the writer, what you want them to say, blah blah blah, and they'll kind of write a cool story about them, and like it would be on the front of a newspaper or something. So it actually comes like printed, like with looks like it comes on the front of a newspaper, so it looks like the real deal. So they'll write up a cool story. You get a great gift. You get to send it to them and hand it to them, whatever it is. But it's just kind of cool. It's something unique that that's better than just handing them like jewelry or something. Anything better that you could write yourself, most likely.
Yeah, it's sentimental.
It's a lot more sentimental. So it'd be pretty cool to be able to, give that to somebody, and then they'll hang it in there, wherever, and they'll always have it. And it's pretty cool. I remember when my wife and I went to, took a trip, and there was somebody that like took a photo of us, and when it printed, it was like a newspaper from like the old times, like an old school newspaper or something.
Yeah.
And it was just your photo in there, and it was kind of so that was pretty cool. And we kept that, and it's something like this. I mean, if you want to make a big difference, somebody is going to really appreciate it. myfrontpagestory.com. Use the promo code BROS20 to get 20% off. So yeah, last one, myfrontpagestory.com. Promo code BROS20.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah, very cool. Very cool gift idea, especially with Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is
going to be here before we know it. So yeah, get on it. By the way, all right, we're done with the ad. So now Anthony Brown from Boston College. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Duh.
Yeah, I know. Do we even like college football, guys?
Yeah. No, but see, maybe that didn't move the needle for me because I don't, he was, yeah.
I don't know. Some people like him. I mean, if he transferred, the very fact that he transferred there, he must have been given some assurance that he can at least compete for the job. So we'll see.
I'm assuming he'll be able to compete. Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like the way you said that is like you're mocking me.
Well, I am. That's a stupid statement.
Why is that a stupid statement?
He can compete. Yeah, we'll let you compete.
Well, I mean, kind of like when Tommy Stevens transferred to Mississippi State. He wasn't going to transfer there if Moorhead didn't essentially say like, you've got a good chance to start.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Yeah, because a guy like Anthony Brown, if he wanted, he could go play somewhere where he's guaranteed to play. But if you say, hey, you got a chance to play at Oregon,
worth a shot.
Might take that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to the next draft. Wide receiver to win the Biletnikoff in 2020. Ryan, what happened in 2019 with our predictions?
Okay, so Trey, you had Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, and Jalen Waddle. So a couple Bama guys and an OU guy. Good picks.
Yeah.
But just didn't work out. Waddle kind of didn't have as big of a year as I think most people thought.
Better returning than the return game.
It's just such a loaded receiving core.
Yeah, CeeDee was great, and Jerry was obviously good too. But so no hit there. Michael, you had Rondale Moore, just injuries,
Injured.
obviously. He just didn't get to play. Then you had Justin Ross, who just never, I don't know, he didn't quite break through.
Just a disappointing year,
Yeah.
numbers wise.
Okay, T. Higgins just overshadowed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your last pick was Laviska Shenault. So, he was good, but just not quite good
Kind
enough
of
for
injury hampering
injuries, obviously, yeah. I had Tylan Wallace, who got injured middle of the year. I mean, it was later-ish in the year, but he was still having a
too. He was on pace for another big year.
yeah, he was having a good year, so that hurt.
Literally.
And then I had Rico Bussey from North Texas. That didn't work out. They had a bad year. And then T. Higgins was my last and final pick. So, and of course, Jamar Chase won, so nobody got it there.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, we could have drafted 5 more rounds and would not have taken him.
No.
So,
No.
okay. All right, well, this year, Trey, Trey, you've got the top pick.
Okay, well, I'm going to stick with my Alabama theme, except I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. He caught 68 passes last year, and as we talked about, it's a very crowded room with Jerry Jeudy and then Jalen Waddle as well. He
Henry
had an
Ruggs.
18.5 yard per reception average, 14 touchdowns. I don't see any reason why he won't be productive again this year.
Yeah, that was my top guy. He was on my fantasy team,
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. I'm aware.
Probably all these receivers were. You were loaded at receiver.
That's stupid.
Okay. Let's see. this is a tough choice, man. We're still loaded receiving core again, just like it was last year. Shoot. Okay, I'll go with my guy that I picked first last year. I'm gonna go Tylan Wallace, Oklahoma State. I mean, obviously he got hurt, but he was having a great year. And then this year he's got Spencer Sanders coming back. He should have an even better year this year, more comfortable in the system. So, yeah, Tylan Wallace.
All right. I have the third pick here. I thought I was going to have to make a tough choice between 2 guys, but I have back-to-back, so I can just take both of them. So I'm just going to take Jamar Chase. He's back.
Yeah.
He won it last year, 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns. I know he had some extra games there. And obviously, Joe Burrow is no longer there. Joe Brady is no longer there.
But they lose Moss. They lose Jefferson. So,
Exactly. There could be more opportunities. So
yeah.
he was just so far and away number 1 last year that I got to take him. And then I'll go Rondale Moore from Purdue. If he was healthy we saw what he did his freshman year in 2018. He was one of the best receivers in the country, over 2,200 all-purpose yards. And, I'm hoping Purdue has, Rondale Moore included, has some better injury luck. I hope quarterback play is a little more consistent. I think it will be. So
Should be.
there you go.
Yep. All right. That was a good one. Okay. Shoot. Okay. It's always a tough choice, man. All right. I'll go with Rashad Bateman at Minnesota. He had a huge year. Somewhat unexpected that it was that big of a year, just because, you didn't think Tanner Morgan was going to be that good, and he ended up having such a stellar year up there in Minnesota. But now you take away Tyler Johnson from that receiving group. It just leaves Bateman as the clear number 1 go-to guy. And he was just a sophomore last year. He had over 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. So Morgan coming back, Bateman, they're going to connect a lot, I would think. So
I really like him. I saw that Pro Football Focus, they were talking about how physical he is. They ranked him one of the highest in contested catch rate as well as broken tackles. So he's gifted.
Yeah, he is.
All right, I'm going to take Justin Ross of Clemson. With T. Higgins gone, his role should only increase. We obviously know he's got a couple years of chemistry with Trevor Lawrence. And we talked about his yard production last year wasn't that much, but he still had 66 receptions. So now with him being the clear number 1 guy, I'm going to go with Ross of Clemson.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we did this last year. We decided to go one more round. Do you guys want to go another round, or are we
A
good?
couple guys.
Okay. All right. We'll go another round then. So let's see. That means...
Oh, so that would mean I go?
Okay, yeah, that means you go again, Trey.
It's It's kind of like last year, I guess, with the third guy. I'll take another Bama one. I'll go back to the well with Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he should continue to improve. He's great in the slot at Alabama. We know how amazing he is in the return game, and if they get him in the open field, he's lethal. I mean, you just watched the Iron Bowl last year. Every time he touched the ball, he was a threat to score. So I'll take Waddle.
I think he's the most electric player in college football.
He's fun to watch.
He's a freak.
Is it me?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. I'm taking Seth Williams from Auburn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he as a sophomore last year, I remember we had a pod going into the year. He was my breakout player in the SEC West, and he had a really good year. He put up some big numbers, and give him Bo Nix an improvement, as I think he's going to happen. I think Seth Williams could do it.
Okay, so the final pick here, I'll tell you all the guys that I'm debating between, just so we throw out as many names as we can.
Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC. We got DeMonte Coxie. He's back at Memphis, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We've got Chris Olave, Ohio State. George Pickens at Georgia could have, I guess, a breakout. I mean, he was very good last year, especially towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Tamarian Terry, Florida State. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Tutu Atwell for Louisville.
Ooh,
yeah, that's a good one.
nice.
1,272 yards and 11 touchdowns last year. That was his breakout, so I'm sure he can build upon that. Mikhail Cunningham back at quarterback. I think Mikhail Cunningham is one of the most underrated players in college football going into the next year. Yeah, he was really good last year. So another year with Scott Satterfield, why not?
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna be pretty high on Louisville this year, maybe too high.
We'll see. Okay, final draft we have is not one that we did last year, so we're done recapping, but we have the 2020 Heisman winner. Ryan, you have the first pick, then me, then Trey. So who you got? This is the tough one going number one, I feel like.
Justin Fields.
Okay.
I just feel like their system leads to more production than Clemson does. I think Clemson's a little more, I don't know. They're just not. They're not trying to murder folks like I feel like Ohio State was.
Well, the other thing, they don't need to air it out. Like, they're not going to be in as many competitive games as Ohio State, I don't think.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to rely on Lawrence as much.
Exactly. So that's why I took Fields, which I think the betting market shows that. I think Fields is the favorite at this point. So
yeah, it's pretty close, but I think Fields is the favorite. Okay, that leaves. I just was prepared since I'm second. I was just going to take whoever you didn't take between Lawrence and Fields. I'm tempted to even go away from that, but nah, I'll go Trevor Lawrence. I don't need to explain that. It's just
No, I mean they're going to be in the hunt.
Yeah. So Trevor Lawrence.
And he's got my guy Justin Ross to throw to.
Exactly.
All right, I'll take. I mean, you kind of have to. The Oklahoma quarterback, I guess, Spencer Rattler.
I thought about taking Rattler number 2.
I mean,
but
he
don't
doesn't
even
have
know if
the
he's gonna start
experience
for
that
sure.
the couple guys ahead of him did into their Heisman campaign seasons. But until you're proven wrong with Lincoln Riley in this offense, you just got to keep going back to them. So I'm going to go with Spencer Rattler of Oklahoma.
okay.
Yep.
Back to back,
in.
Trey.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see
We'll
here.
learn the snake trap one day.
Yeah, I know. I'm down to 2 guys. I'm going to take a guy a little bit more off the radar for some people, and I'm going to take Kyle Trask of Florida.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not picking him because I think he's going to load up the stat sheet, but I really think Florida's going to be in the mix for the playoff. He led them to a New Year's Six Bowl win, like I said earlier. It'll be his second full year in Mullen's system. He completed 67% of his passes, had 29 total touchdowns. Maybe he can improve upon that, and they're in the mix. He'll be in the hunt.
Yeah, those were good numbers that he had last year.
I know.
They weren't too shabby.
Yeah, considering he didn't start the year as the guy, he was good. I like that pick.
Okay, back to me. I am going to take Mac Jones for Alabama. Like we talked about earlier, I think the lack of a full offseason is going to make it more likely that he starts rather than Bryce Young. And we saw Mac Jones run this offense last year, and offense barely skipped a beat without Tua. So Mac Jones, if he is the starter all year with Waddle and with Devonta Smith and all the guys he has to throw to, they're going to put up big numbers. So Mac Jones.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick. Okay, I'm down to 2 guys now. I got Jamie Newman, our bro, and Bo Nix.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Bo Nix.
Wow.
58% completion percentage. It wasn't very good, but
We
he
are
did
missing
that up over
a clear
60,
one.
16 touchdowns, 6 picks. I think he can. I think he's going to make a big jump. So.
Yeah, I disagree with that pick, but maybe I'll be wrong. You were early on Bo Nix starting all season last year, so maybe you're early on Bo Nix taking
maybe
the
he'll
leap.
have a big leap.
It is conceivable he could take a leap. I'm being too harsh.
His stats were similar to Joe Burrow's as a junior, so.
Well, I don't know if we should use Joe Burrow as a precedent for anything, but
So I'm essentially saying he's, gonna have the best year ever.
yeah. Okay, Trey, who's the guy you thought we were? So we're done with
Sam
this draft.
Ehlinger.
Yeah, I agree. He would have been my
Sam
next
Ehlinger
pick.
is just so productive. And you like Texas, it sounds like, right now. So
Yeah, exactly. They've got a puncher's chance of making a playoff type run. So yeah, he's going to put up the rushing touchdowns. He's going to be in the mix. Other guys we left off, Chuba Hubbard, of course.
Yeah.
Miles Brennan, LSU, if they can keep it up. Sam Howell, Trey, your guy apparently, but we all love him. Travis Etienne, and then my guy Keaton Slovis. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't pick Jamie Newman, Ryan. I mean, I like
I
Jamie
don't think
Newman.
he's
He was really productive at Wake, but it's just going to be, first of all, now with an abbreviated offseason,
Yeah.
however you want to call it, with a new offensive coordinator, of course, Jamie Newman's first year, and there's a lot of talent in the receiving core, but some of it's unproven. Offensive line, so many guys going to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's a lot to overcome. So I don't know about
I think
Heisman.
a lot of people were very enamored with the high-profile transfer quarterbacks that they don't always pan out. Like, I'm really curious, like Derek King at Miami. Like, I want these guys to work out, but as we've seen time after time, it doesn't always pan out.
Right.
I saw a thing on with the Jamie Newman stats where at Wake last year where with Sage Surratt on the field, like his stats were really good. It's like 28 touchdowns, 6 picks. But with Sage Surratt off the field, I mean, he had more interceptions than touchdowns. So it's just when he didn't have a top guy in there, he really struggled. So yeah, I mean, I just kind of threw him on my potential list just because he's probably the starting quarterback for a potential top 10 team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and his odds, he
his
deserves
odds
to
are
be
higher.
somewhere on this list. His odds are too high. He's like 10 to
agree.
1 or something like
Yeah.
that. And to me, that's not good value.
You're really bashing our bro.
No, I love Jamie Newman. Hey,
No,
he's our
I
fourth
get
brother.
it.
Love
I
Jamie
get it.
Newman. I think he'll have a good year, but I'm not sure about Heisman. But anyway, that'll do it for the College Football Bros podcast. Thank you to everybody for listening and for watching, of course, on YouTube. And if you like the show and you want bonus episodes or just want to support us, we'd really appreciate that. That's patreon.com/collegefootballbros. And we will talk to everyone next week. Adios.
You've been listening to the College Football Bros. If you have any questions for the next podcast, email them to collegefootballbros@gmail.com. To keep up with the brothers on social media, like them on Facebook at College Football Bros, follow them on Instagram at College Football Bros, and for their commentary on Saturdays, follow them on Twitter at CFB Bros. Thanks for listening.